ring because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, we're just gonna whack! Clarifying his earlier report, Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer posted on X that Triple H knew about plans for The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 when he booked Cody Rhodes to win the Royal Rumble. Why would you have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble, assuming that everybody was going to be under the assumption that he was going to go after Roman Reigns? Why would you have him win the Royal Rumble? Everyone is under the assumption that he's going to go after Roman Reigns. He comes out, he's staring Seth Rollins in the face. Seth Rollins says, "Are you going to face me at WrestleMania?" Cody Rhodes doesn't immediately say yes, and just as he's about to answer, he gets attacked by Drew McIntyre. Why would we go through this whole rigmarole only to be completely disappointed and tripped up right at the end? It doesn't make any sense, okay? I'm going to keep saying this, and I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before, but I'm going to keep saying this. I think that it's going to be a triple threat match. Because why? Again, you have Cody win the Royal Rumble the second time in a row. He won the last one. He won the last one. They made a big stink. Will he be the first man in, what was it, like 13 years or something? Will he be the first man to win the Royal Rumble back to back? And he did. Everyone is saying, oh, finish the story, finish the story, finish the story. And he doesn't? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So I think that this is the point. They're going to, right at the very last second, they're going to go, I was just kidding. What, do you think I was just kidding? You dummy. You stupid. You dumb, stupid, ugly idiot. You're big, dumb, and stupid and ugly. You thought that I was gonna not have Cody Rhodes finish the story? You big, look at you. Look at your face. You big idiot. It's gonna be Cody, Rock, and Roman at WrestleMania 40. I believe that. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I believe that in my heart of hearts. Moving over to AEW, Mercedes Moné has been on AEW's payroll since January per Fightful Select. Numerous options were discussed about when she would debut before they settled on announcing March 13th's big business show in Boston. Fightful Reports also says New Japan expects that they'll, quote, have the ability to continue to work with Moné while she's still under contract to AEW. That's the thing that I'm always talking about. If somebody ever signs with AEW and they just so happen to be with New Japan, you can jump back and forth. You don't have to worry about anything. I doubt that they have to really worry too much about visa, because if you're already in New Japan, boom, if you're an American in New Japan and you're a wrestler, I would assume I would hope that you've got your documents in order on the off chance that you have to go to America at some point, which is what I assume Mercedes is doing, has already done, and it makes sense that she's going to AEW, and AEW has a working relationship with New Japan, and it seems like AEW is also starting a working relationship with CMLL. There's going to be a lot of luchadors jumping back and forth. They also are more than likely going to have their visas, worked out and all that sort of stuff. That's why I was like, look, say what you want about AEW. They've got connections with, promotions overseas. You can't really say that about WWE. Maybe WWE will let somebody go and work a match or two, but then they got to come right back. So that's one thing that AEW 100% has over WWE. Now, as soon as I saw Big Business, I was like, okay, that's Mercedes Moné. I don't know how I can prove this. I just know for a fact that that's Mercedes Moné. Did he need to make an entire pay-per-view? Well, an entire extra event centered around Mercedes Moné? No, he didn't. He really did not, because now that's an extra one, just like Winter is coming. But fine, whatever, man. If that's what you got to do to, bring Mercedes Moné on, then fine. Okay? They were right. Mercedes is going to start sometime around March, and yeah. So I assumed she was going to debut on Revolution, but fine. There's not really much else to say. Big Business, so can't wait to see her show up. Next, a video call TNA held with talent to discuss Scott D'Amore's firing didn't go over well after Anthem officials contradicted their own press release by saying D'Amore, quote, stepped down, and new president Anthony Siciliani read a prepared statement but didn't allow wrestlers to ask questions, according to PW Insider. A Fightful Select report on D'Amore's exit confirmed that talent aren't happy and said they haven't been given a reason for the move beyond what was in the public announcement. One wrestler told him he heard Anthem wants TNA to be more closely associated with them rather than D'Amore. House of Wrestling heard there were 2 video calls, and that the first ended with TNA producer Tommy Dreamer telling talent that if they wanted out of their deals after D'Amore's firing, quote, they could have those discussions with the company privately. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to be happy to hear, but I'm going to tell you it because it's the truth. It's just business. Here's the deal. D'Amore was in the way of a business plan that they had planned out probably for quite some time now, and D'Amore didn't know about it. So they moved into the office. They said, Scott, you got to get up. And Scott said, I don't want to get up. This isn't fair. You know, people are going to be upset about this. And they said, listen, that's not our problem. We're going to figure that out in due time. What you need to do right now is you need to get your stuff and you need to get out. And Scott said, what if we negotiate? And they looked at him and they said, we're not doing that, because I can guarantee you what we are going to tell you is not going to go well with you, and you're just going to waste our time. So this would have happened anyway. You got to go. The fact that they, first of all, said he stepped down. No, he didn't. He got fired. Okay, well, what do we tell you? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to video call, right? And we're going to, hey, he was a great guy, yada, yada, right? Okay, well, can we ask questions? No. Goodbye. Hey, what they did was they came in, they hockey pushed him out of the way, and they're moving on. They also, the report also says, hey, we wanted to be more closely related to Anthem rather than TNA. Scott D'Amore's not part of Anthem. They picked him up by the scruff of his neck, and they flung him behind them, man. That's not what you want to hear. That's not fair. It's not right. Scott doesn't deserve this. You're 100% right with everything that you just said. But hey, boss man, that's how it works out there, man. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, Scott was in the wrong place at the right time. They had plans. They were going to move him out of the way no matter what, whether it was going to be now, whether it was going to be later. They had plans, and Scott D'Amore just apparently wasn't in the cards. That's just how it bees out there, man. That's just how it goes. I don't agree with it. I don't think it was right either. But I know that in the reality of the world and the reality of the situation, that's just how it is. Scott got moved, man. That's just how it is, folks. There's not really too much else to say about that. Again, it's not fair, but that's business. Finally, after former Stardom booker Rossi Ogawa confirmed to Tokyo Sports that he plans to start a new promotion, and in a separate interview with the same outlet, Stardom president Tara Ogawa confirmed reports several members of the roster are planning or thinking about leaving after Ogawa's firing. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Julia is delaying her WWE start so she can help launch Ogawa's new company. So apparently, Rossi Ogawa was the president for Stardom, which is under Bushi Road, right? Which is also what New Japan is under as well. And apparently, he got in trouble because he was allegedly, poaching talent from Stardom. And that's why he got fired. So now, apparently, he is starting a new promotion, and a bunch of wrestlers are thinking about leaving. And it's kind of giving like NJPW versus AJPW, but it's completely different. Or I feel like either way, right? It's kind of, similarities, right? And apparently Julia is going to be helping. Now, with that being said, I feel like if that's the case, then we're probably not going to see Julia for quite some time, because I don't know a whole lot of things, but I'm going to go ahead and stand under the assumption that starting a wrestling promotion is probably going to take a while, and there's a lot of peripherals that you need to get in order, and I doubt that it's going to be just as simple as turning the key, and pressing down on the gas pedal for it to start, right? And then as soon as it starts, you just leave the thing running for a little bit. I assume there's going to be a lot of different prerequisites and what have you that they're going to need to get in order, and I don't think Julia's going to be there and then be like, all right, I'm leaving now. I think Julia's going to be there for a little bit. Maybe be in a match or two, really get it started off of the ground, and then she's going to go. Very curious to know that there's a lot of wrestlers that are thinking about leaving, despite the fact that he got fired for poaching the talent. So I don't know what to think about that. Maybe he's just a really good guy and they were okay with being poached. I don't 100% know. That's a little bit confusing to me, if I'm going to be totally honest with you here. Tony Khan was on Twitter. He said he was pretty happy to see that Ogawa was, being fired, which leads me to believe that maybe the whole poaching talent thing was being, done over in Tony Khan's neck of the woods. If you're poaching talent from Stardom, then I don't see why you wouldn't try and poach talent from AEW, because AEW's got a couple Japanese wrestlers, or AEW's got a couple wrestlers that, poked around in New Japan for a little bit. So, it wouldn't surprise me that Ogawa was trying to do that. So, a little strange, but this is the first that I'm hearing about it. Very interesting nonetheless. So, listen, at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see what this new promotion is going to be called and if it ends up getting off the ground. What do we talk about? All right, so they had Cody win again. Triple H knew that it was going to be Rock Roman at WrestleMania. Cody still hasn't given his answer. I don't understand why they're prolonging it if we already know that it's going to be Seth Cody at WrestleMania. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Monet's debuting on March 13th's Big Business show in Boston. Great. Can't wait to see what she's going to do. Have the ability to work in New Japan, pretty much like everybody else, so that's good to hear. Okay, so a WWE source told journalist BJ Bethel that the internal reaction to yesterday's Ashley Massaro story was, quote, Armageddon. I don't even want to talk about that because it's just awful. It's just awful. Just all around. It is just an awful bit of news to talk about, and I don't want to talk about that. So if you would like to look that up, Ashley, Massaro, okay, just click the news tab and read it at your own risk. Very triggering. I'm just going to say that right now. Lots of SA and just look it up, okay? So here's the deal. They moved Scott out of the way, man. They moved him out of the way. A lot of wrestlers were like, if you're going to do this, then I'm leaving. I highly doubt that Anthem cares, okay? I doubt Anthem is worried about that, okay? It's just business. That's all I'm going to say about this, and that's all you can pretty much sum this up to be, because they lied, and they're not letting people ask any questions. It's just business. Okay, so Rossy Ogawa was not the president. He was the founder. Taro Okada is, and I'm assuming has always been, the president. So I apologize for getting that incorrect. I mean, if he's leaving for poaching talent, then I don't understand why the talent would go with him. So maybe that's not the case. I don't understand. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But, I mean, look, that's what's going on. He's leaving. Julia's going to help him, which means that I doubt Julia's going to be with WWE anytime soon. We're probably going to see her in the next couple months, to be totally honest, because I doubt it's going to be as simple as going in and then going back out. So just going to have to wait and see. Again, just going to have to wait and see what that promotion ends up looking like, folks. On that note, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.